Hi there. It's so nice of you to come back and see me. Well, it's been like months. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you're here, though. It makes me a little worried, though, if you haven't come to see me in 3 or 4 months. Something must be going on. Yeah. Well, have a seat. Let's get started. You kind of know how this goes. Hasn't been that long. If you don't mind, I will be recording our session on my paper here. Right, it's just to help me remember. I have a terrible memory. Yeah, if you want to read it at any time, you're absolutely welcome to. Right, it's not me keeping secrets from you or diagnosing something. No, it's just from my memory. So, tell me what's been going on. Right. Oh my gosh, you started a new job. Well, no wonder you haven't come to see me. Right. And you're liking it? Yeah? That's good. How long have you been there? 2 months. Right. How's the training going? Are you done with the training? Yeah? It was a 2-month training? That's really nice. Sometimes when you get a new job, they just throw you into it without giving you enough training. It's kind of sets you up to fail, but 2-month training program, that's good. Is the job what made you decide to come see me today? No? You've just been busy. No, I completely understand. Sometimes we can't make time to talk about what's going on with us because there's so much of it. We're doing so much we don't have any time to talk about it. Right? No, I completely understand, and you never have to come see me. It is a choice that you make, and I'm glad when you do. But absolutely. Right. So, how are you feeling about your confidence in the job? Really good? That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Right. Oh, that can be a little scary. Good. And there's nothing more stressful than being judged by a whole new set of eyes. Right. You don't know any of these people, They don't know what a wonderful person you are yet. And it's so hard. It's so hard to show people what good people we are in small amounts of time. Right. That can be really stressful. That's part of what makes a new job so stressful. Also, it's learning all the new stuff. Right. Oh, you've already had a spat with your new coworkers. Did you practice any of those techniques we went over? No. I understand. No, I don't judge you for it. It's hard to remember in the heat of the moment. It's hard to remember those techniques. Right. No, I feel bad sitting here telling you what to do, but I'm a human too. I get angry and I forget the breathing techniques and oh, absolutely. And it's my job to remember those things. I don't blame you. No. But other than that little spat, right? And you feel really confident about your job. That's great. No, that's a huge stress relief right there. Exactly. Feeling feeling like you know what you're doing. I know that when I've started new jobs in the past, you know, I'd bite my nails clean off. I was so stressed out. Just because I was afraid of failure. It's scary. But it sounds like your new job is the perfect fit. Yeah? No, that's wonderful. Right. That's great. So, other than the new job, I know it's hard to find time for other things, but do you have anything else going on? Right. Oh, right. Oh, you guys had a fight? That's too bad. So, how did that start? Really? Oh dear. So how long did it take you guys to resolve it? You didn't? Oh, it just kind of blew over, but you guys never talked about it again? I don't know about that. I've told you before, and I hate to condescend. I don't mean to be condescending, but when you don't actually resolve issues, they're not resolved. I mean, quite obviously. Right, if you guys just forget about them, the problem may crop back up in the future. Exactly. It's something that you need to talk about. And it's not something you have to approach your best friend saying, you know, blaming. That's actually the worst way to approach somebody. I found over the years that the best way to approach a problem is to put the focus on the way you feel. Right? The action in itself is not what is inherently bad about the situation. It's how you feel about it. So, in the future, when you approach your friend, it's important to put the emphasis on the way you feel. So instead of approaching them like this, you did this, and it upset me. You never want to start with you. You want to start with I. You want to say, I feel bad when you go off and do things without me, or whatever the problem is. Exactly. And that will not put your friend on the defense. That's the worst thing you can do, is to attack your friend, because then you can't have any kind of reasonable conversation. Exactly. Right. And it's, as always, it's hard to remember these things in the heat of the moment. I understand. But what is very important to remember is that she is your friend. And she has feelings too, right? And that her anger is as justified as your anger most of the time. Obviously, there's sometimes when someone is completely out of line, but... Right. No, but instead of waiting 2 weeks to talk to your friend again, you could have resolved it with a simple, meeting for lunch and explaining the way it made you feel. Right. No, there's no reason to have 2 months, or 2 weeks, of feeling that way. Especially about somebody you care about as much as your best friend. Right. So, in the last couple of months that we haven't been talking, is this the only squabble that you've had with your friend? There was another one? It wasn't as bad. That's good. And how did you resolve that one? Right. Oh, that's more of a resolution. Oh, that was really well done, actually. That was a very good way to approach the situation. That was good. So what prevented you from doing it the other time? You were just too angry. Oh, I completely understand. But no, that's wonderful. Did you use some of the techniques I helped you to calm down? Yeah? That's wonderful. I mean, I hate to say what I do doesn't get through to people, but it's not very often I get someone come in here and say they actually use the technique more than once or twice. Right? It's because in the heat of the moment, it's the last thing you're thinking about doing. Right? Well, and the meditation and breathing techniques, they're not for everybody. Some people have other great ways of resolving issues. It's not the only way. Right, well, we've gone over some of those techniques, right, and they weren't right for you. You decided that the meditation was what you really felt the most comfortable doing. Right. Well, it sounds like you could use a refresher on how exactly to do the technique. I'm happy to go over it with you at the end here, but I'd like to get everything that you want to talk about out of the way. It's been so long. Alright, so let me just look at my notes really quick here. We went over, right, your new job and your friend. That can't be the only thing that's happened in the last 3 or 4 months, right? Well, I guess if you've been focusing on your new job, you haven't had much time. Don't worry about it. We don't have to talk all the time. I'd love to go over some of those meditations with you. Yes, absolutely. Well, you just let me know. Ooh, excuse me. If there's anything else you want to talk about, and we can always set up another appointment sometime. Right. So let's go over some of those breathing techniques. I need you to start by getting comfortable here. I need you to close your eyes. That's always the best way to do it. Closing your eyes helps focus inward because you don't have visual stimuli. Right? Alright, so close your eyes for me, okay? Great. Okay. Now we're going to do the breathing meditation first. And this is very simple, but it really requires you to concentrate. What I'd like you to do first, because I'd like to give you an idea of how this helps, I'd like you to try to recall some of that anger you felt when you had the fight with your friend. Okay? Alright? Alright, I don't want you to get too angry, but I do want you to, this sounds horrible, but I do want you to feel some of those negative feelings so that you can feel how this helps get rid of them. Alright, now I need you to start taking very deep breaths. Nothing shallow, it needs to be very deep. Breathe in with me until it almost hurts your chest, but not quite. And then breathe out. Like that. I want you to do this through your nose firstly. continue breathing very deeply through your nose. 3 more times. Just a little bit deeper. One more time. Alright. Now, do it through your mouth. I know you can already feel the anger as it slips away from you. It's almost completely gone. Now I know this anger was slight, and I know that this meditation seems a little long to do on the fly, but you can do a shortened version. I'm just getting you prepared for the most important step. As you continue breathing, you need to think about your breathing, not about how angry you are, not about what you're going to eat for lunch, not about work or friends. Concentrate solely on your breathing. Envision in your mind an image of air. However you imagine air, as a puff of steam or smoke, or little swirly lines, or invisible if you must. But picture it traveling down your throat, into your lungs, and expanding your chest. And picture it coming back out through your mouth again. It's very important to concentrate on the breathing. It's almost more important than the breathing itself. Good. Do you want to keep going? It's good to have a longer meditation. Alright. By this time, after you're enraged, you should be feeling almost nothing. Nothing but calm, peaceful energy coming from the place in your chest where the anger was. It should feel cool as opposed to the heat of rage. It should feel like a spring breeze from your chest. Don't let your breath get shallow. It must continue to stay deep, deep breaths. This helps increase oxygen flow to the blood. It helps regulate the body and wake up your tired cells. By now you should feel completely calm and ready to face your problems in a mature, civilized, and reasonable fashion. You should be able to tell the person that upset you exactly how you feel without accusing or putting them on guard. And it should feel good to discuss your feelings. And the anger, it shouldn't come back. has certainly a lot longer than it needs to be. Right. Right. But when you're really angry and you have a moment to yourself, it is good to do that kind of meditation. And I know it sounds a little cheesy, and I know you see it in the movies, but it works. It really does. Think about how good you feel now. Right? Alright, I have one more exercise we can go over today before our time is done. It's not really an exercise so much as a technique to help calm yourself down, kind of on the fly. I need you to close your eyes again because it helps to get rid of visual stimuli. Right? Alright, close your eyes. Good. This is something you can either have a friend do for you, or you can do yourself. Whichever. All you do is continue to do breathing, of course. But take one of your hands and place it between your neck and your shoulder, right where the muscle above your clavicle is, and grip that muscle right there, and basically give yourself a massage. When we're stressed or angry, it shows in body language, and our body language is often to tense those muscles right there. That's where you're going to feel a lot of your anger the strongest physically. Right? Good. Alright, now take your other hand. Place it on the other shoulder. And gently rub. Good. It helps release the lactic acid that's built up in the muscle. It's fast. It feels really good. And it helps bring your tension down. Right. Alright. One more time on the other side for good measure. Good. And one more time on the other side. Great. Alright, open your eyes. Good job. See, those exercises are so easy to do on your own. Well, there's no reason not to do them. I mean, certainly, if you're in the middle of a conversation with someone that's upsetting you, you can't close your eyes and start breathing. Well, I have before. But it's important to have control over our emotions. Emotions are a wonderful, important part of life, but it is vital that we control them. Right? And anger is one of the hardest emotions to control. But if you work on those techniques and learn to approach people that upset you in a way that is constructive instead of destructive. Right. Right. And one more question before we end. Are you still keeping that diary that I asked you to keep about your feelings? Right. You haven't done it in about a month or so. I understand you have a new job, but that is one of the most important times to air out your feelings. And you can't always talk to an impartial party. And even though having friends and family to talk to is a wonderful thing, sometimes because they are so invested in your life, their opinions are biased and occasionally harmful. Although I would never tell someone to shy away from talking to their friends and family. It's important to have a private or impartial party to talk to. So if you can't or don't want to talk to me or someone else who's not directly affecting your life, then a diary is an important thing to have. Once those words are written out, it'll help you resolve the anger. Because it's important to acknowledge anger. You can't just shove it away, right? Was there anything else you want to talk about? Your time's almost over. Right, now I was so glad you came to see me. Do you plan to make an appointment for the next week or two? Yeah, you'll come back and see me? Great. Well, I hope to see you soon, and I hope your new job goes exceedingly